So we're here with Marion again. Hi, Marion. Thank you for being here.
Sunny Queensland.
Yes, it is sunny today. We brought the
Yes.
rain with us over here. So I guess you've been talking to us about your experiences sitting in Sandra's energy. Do you want to kind of elaborate on that?
Okay. So we've been having the intensive here in Emu Park, and I suppose you could say like I've been host for you ladies, and being in your company, not only within the workshop, outside the workshop, I've got to really experience the feeling of being in your company.
Not me, don't look at me. Sandra's energy.
Sandra's energy. So used to putting it in pairs, isn't it? Yes, and also it's been interesting within, like, just sitting in the intensive and really, rather than sitting in the intensive sort of being a little bit like layers flared, trying to learn, am I good enough? Sitting on the outside of that, I've really got a sense of the energy that Sandra brings into the workshop, and being in core, and it's just it's something that's really foreign. We think we've got it, we get little snippets of it maybe in meditation, or you get that moment when you're walking down the beach in nature, you're out amongst the trees. So for me it's similar to that place when you're with nature and you get that cool breeze and you connect with the earth, the trees, that beautiful feeling that we get snippets of.
Yeah.
So that's what it's like being around Sandra, and just being in that company where someone's totally present when they're talking to you, just sitting, they're totally present. It changes your world. It can flare things up, but it also has a peace and calm about it that has you wanting more. It's like, I want more of that, I want more of that. I've had some massive changes in this last couple of days just over coffee. Cake and coffee.
And that's not even sitting in the workshop space.
That's not even in the workshop.
Sitting in
this
Sandra's
is just sitting in Sandra's energy.
Yeah.
And I can see why people would fall over themselves to want more of that. Even if you didn't recognise what it is, you just get that little taste, and it's like, I want more of that. What is that? Just like, let me have more of that.
Yeah.
It gives a sense of peace. It can be confronting, and that's just a little block here.
That's right. The changes that you've noticed in yourself, I mean, from when we first arrived a week ago to now, even that, you've had like daily things just pop up, release, and just sitting in Sandra's energy is just...
And it's not little. It's not little. It's very thorough, but it's gentle.
You basically receive a healing sitting in her space. Just having coffee.
Just having coffee.
Yeah.
You don't have to run the layers, and as I said, it's just being in a presence. Like, we don't have that. We haven't had that in our lives, and it's like...
And you've done a lot of modalities and a lot of courses, a lot of workshops.
And that's been the thing that's been missing with a lot of people, like their heart's in it and they really want to change the world, whatever that is, but they're not present.
Yeah.
And it's sitting in the workshops with Sandra, there's not one moment where she hasn't been present. It hasn't slackened off. It's like, oh, I'm feeling a bit tired now, I might just let these guys do what. But like, there's never that. It's just totally present in core the whole time, and that's what changes everything. And I've heard Sandra say in the workshop, just being core when you talk to people. And at first I wasn't really sure what that meant. Like in module 1, I wasn't really quite sure what just being in core does to change people.
Yeah.
I'd heard about it in workshops before where we've tried to achieve that, like, be the change and change the world type stuff, but none of the other modalities I've done has that, where the person is genuinely there, present, and in connection with all source, animals, nature, all that stuff.
That's cool.
And it does. You just sitting, like there was one day here where after sitting with Sandra and you for dinner the next morning, like Sandra came over to start the workshop with you, and Sandra sat down, and I went to sit down. I was like, oh geez, shall I sit here this morning? Am I ready for this?
Because the recognition of
Yeah.
what Sandra brings
Yes.
to that space has been amplified for you.
Yes.
So the
Yes.
realization of this just isn't another modality.
No.
Sandra is working on everybody and brings her own energy to everything she does. If it's just having a coffee catch up.
Yes.
And
She's
then in that workshop
totally
space.
present for the coffee catch up. I've sat with friends where they're like, let's have coffee, let's do coffee, and even people in my same work field as myself, and you get there and you have coffee with them, and you know straight away they don't really want to be there, and they just maybe want you there so they can offload,
Yeah.
but they're not present. They're not. There's lots of other stuff where when you're in Sandra's company, she's totally present, and you feel nurtured just by sitting there. Like there's this nurture, and it's like, can I have some more of that? But you're also like, you're so not used to what that is,
Yeah.
that the other part of you wants to run away, but you can't run away once you've had a taste. It's like, So it's very cool, and it does. It changes. It's not about the words so much with that. It's just being in that core. It's the energy. It changes.
She could literally sit there for an entire coffee date, not even utter a word, and
No.
you just know that
You get the change.
you're getting
And it's been very interesting sitting just, within the workshop and seeing that also, and seeing the changes in the students from the beginning to the end. And just for me now, like sometimes I'll feel the shift in Sandra when something comes up for a student and she hasn't said any words yet, but you feel the shift.
Yeah.
And little light bulb moments will go on for this student, and then the stuff comes out. It might be 20 minutes later, it might be the next day or 3 days, but it does. It connects and it changes.
And these workshops making the students so much more energetically sensitive.
Oh yeah.
Like there's no doubt about that you can't feel things.
Yeah. And yes, and there's not one person, just in the short time I've experienced Pete, I haven't seen one person that's had change. Obviously there's different
That hasn't had change.
that hasn't had change, like different levels in each different person, but there's not one person that hasn't had a change, whatever that change is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it may be immediate, might not catch up for 6 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, but it changes.
Sure
We
does.
can't. So it changes. There's no doubt about that at all.
Awesome.